We are live. All right. Hey, what's going on, guys? Joe McCall. Hope you're doing well. On today's special REI Secrets video, I almost called it a webinar. It's not a webinar. We're going to look at deals. Let's look at deals. Just before I went on live here, got a bunch of people in the Zoom room. We're in Zoom right now. And I just said, hey, who's got some deals they want me to look at? And let's look at some deals. And I got 5 different addresses here. We'll see if I can get through all of them. I don't know, but let's look at some deals. And while we do that, I'm going to open up my calculator, my software. I should have done this before we went live, but those of you that don't know, while I get it right now, those of you that don't know, you can get access to this software by going to partnerwithjoe.net. Partnerwithjoe.net as I log in. I should have done this before. Why did I forget? But if you go to partnerwithjoe.net, you're going to get access to, for free, the light version of this software as I open it up here. But if you sign up for Partner with Joe, which is just $7, you can get this software included. And what this is, what Partner with Joe is, it's a 7-day, good, I finally got it here. This Partner with Joe thing is it's a 30-day course where we teach you how to get to your first check in the fastest way possible. And we're going to teach you in this how to do basically a simple cash deal, wholesaling deal. All right. But part of this is this thing I call the Automated Offer Pro software. And let me just share my screen because you're going to get access to this thing included. All right. And let me just move my window over here. This is the Automated Offer Pro. Doesn't it look amazing and sexy? And no, I'm just kidding. Here is this software right here, Automated Offer Pro. And this offer software will help you evaluate your deals. It'll help you figure out the after repair value. It'll help you figure out the repairs. It'll help you figure out a cash offer, 2 different cash offers, 2 different lease option offers, and 2 different owner financing offers. And so what I thought would be cool to do is let's look at some of these deals and let's make some offers. What do you say? What do you say? I like that idea. All right. The first one I want to look at is a property. So there's a few tools that I use. Let me just run through the tools that I like to use when I am making offers. PropStreamJoe.com. PropStreamJoe.com is one of my favorite tools to go to get detailed property history on each property that I'm looking at. Comps, who owns it? Is there a mortgage on it? Is there a lien on it? What is going on with the property? How long has the owner owned it? Who is the owner? Where does the owner live? How long ago did they buy? Do they have a mortgage? What's the approximate value of the house? What's the rent? All that good stuff. Okay. So I like to go to PropStream to get a lot of stuff. I also like to go to Redfin. This is one of the houses we'll look at. I like to go to Redfin a lot. I like to go to Zillow a lot. And there's a bunch of other websites, realtor.com. You know, one of the things that I've been looking at lately is Realty Track. Do you guys ever go to Realty Track? And I don't know where you can do this. Somebody was just showing me this the other day. You can actually put in addresses of properties and get information on the properties. And is this an example of that? Oh, here we go. Realty Track says this house is worth $314,900. Redfin, we'll see what that says it's worth. All right. So what I thought we'd do is we look at some houses here and then let's come up with some offers. Now I'm gonna get a pen and paper. Sometimes as I'm going through all these different websites and I'm writing down a bunch of numbers, it helps just to be able to write them down, even old-fashioned pen and paper. The first one I want to look at, somebody sent to me here, and the address it's right here. So let me move this over. This address is 7419 Hazel Avenue in Maplewood, St. Louis, Missouri. And this is in an area, you don't have to know St. Louis that well, but it's in a really good area. I'm going to move it to map here. Maplewood's a great area. I don't know what you call it. Midtown. You know, here's downtown. Here's the St. Louis. Here's Clayton. And down in this area is Holder Homes probably 75 years old. Some of them are 100 years old. And as St. Louis grew, it kind of grew this way out to the west. As you get more to the suburban areas out here, bigger homes, bigger lots, suburban area out here is exploding and growing. But this is kind of the older part of St. Louis, but it's still really nice. And a lot of people live here. And you can tell it's kind of older just by looking at the area. And so if we were to go into a satellite view, I like looking at satellite views when I'm looking at particular markets, especially ones that I don't know, because I'm looking for what's in the area. Is it next to a Taco Bell, CSV pharmacy? What is this building here? I don't know. An office building. Are there a bunch of empty lots? Like if you were to go into the city of St. Louis, closer to downtown, you'll find an area with a lot of vacant lots. Let me just give you an example of this. I'm gonna copy this address here in my clipboard, but I just want to show this to you because satellite images are important. If I were to scroll over here to St. Louis into the area that's maybe not as nice, maybe that's fair to say, maybe it's not to say, I don't know. This is a pretty rough area here. And guess what you're starting to see? A lot of these vacant little lots here. That's maybe not the greatest area that people want to live in. So if you pull the street view man over here, this is kind of what you're going to see. Pretty rough areas and beat up homes. Not necessarily. I got a lot of stories here, but I won't share them. Okay. That's kind of what you're going to see there. Now there are a lot of people there. God bless the ones that are rehabbing the homes and building new homes there, but it's got a long ways to go before it does well. But here at this property, it's a little further away, maybe 20 minutes away or so. And if I zoom in, you can see there's good homes here. Not a lot of vacant lots. There's a park, maybe there. But it tells me I'm also close to some commercial, which is interesting, close to some nice residential. So yeah, we'll see. And then let's look at the street view map. Bring over here. By the way, Apple Maps was driving by my house the other day. I'm famous because Apple Maps it was in a car, nice looking little car with a big camera on the roof. Have you guys ever seen that? Big old camera on a stick on a roof, that has like a bunch of lenses all around it and stuff. And I was looking out the window as it drove by. So you're going to see me on there. And I probably should have rolled my window down and gone like this or something outside. But yeah, so I'm famous. You can all say that you know who that guy is. This is a good neighborhood. This is a really good area, great park. And it's within walking distance of, I don't know, maybe there's some coffee shops or something down there. This looks like a 2-family, or maybe it was at one time. Let's zoom over to the right or left a little bit. No, it's a single family, but maybe it was at one time. I don't know. One of the things you got to know about your neighborhoods too is a lot of times the houses with brick are more valuable than the ones without brick. Now, maybe there's some, whoa, what just happened there? I was going to say, maybe there's some brick down here that's just been painted white. I don't know if that's stucco or not, but I don't know. Might be some just block. But you're going to find a big significant difference in value with a house that is all brick versus a house that's all vinyl siding. The one with the brick is going to be more valuable and worth more. Just less maintenance, although there is maintenance on this. It's just different. This house might, let's say it's worth 150. This one might be worth 125 because it does not have brick. Just something to be aware of. So you got to be careful when you're looking at comps. Okay, so let me think here. I don't know what the story is on this house. Somebody was looking at it here, and let's go back to the address here. I'm going to copy that address, and I want to put it in Redfin. So let's go to redfin.com. I'm going to paste that address in there. Ah, it's for sale by owner. That's why they found it. It's for sale by owner. All right. 3 stories of rehabbing fun in the heart of Maplewood. And by the way, Realty Track, this was interesting. Realty Track said it was worth $314,900 fixed up. I mean, that's their estimated value, but it's listed for $259,000. So I've had a lot of students that bring me deals, and they use these ARVs. They underestimate repairs, and they figure, $259,900 is a great deal, and they offer $255,000, and they get it under contract with the goal of wholesaling it because it needs a lot. It needs some work. But here's the problem: if they can't sell this, and how long is it? It's been active for 10 days. All right. Maybe getting a lot of offers, who knows? But what makes you think you're going to be able to sell it for $265,000 if they haven't sold it in 10 days yet for $260,000? So you when you're making an offer to wholesale a deal, you need to make sure that you're going to be selling it for a lot less than what they're currently selling it for. Make sense? It's a big, big deal that you understand that. People are going to go look and see, well, wait a minute. Why are you selling it for $265,000 when I can go buy it for $260,000 right now from the owner directly? Or why are you selling it for $265,000 when I can see that it was listed for sale for $260,000 for 3 months and it didn't sell? So there's a certain point where you can't really put too much weight on the quote unquote ARV when the asking price, when they're trying to sell it for this, and it hasn't sold yet. It's still on the market. Now, who knows? Maybe it's pending or something like that. Because it's a FSBO, they don't have to mark it as pending. Let's look at some pictures here. All right. Can I zoom in a little bit? We'll see there. All right. Needs some updating, obviously, right? It's kind of got these weird reflective ceiling panels. That is weird. Some kind of, this is pretty much how I don't want to say full gut rehab, but this needs a lot of work. What do you think it needs? Paint, refinish the wood floors, new windows. Let's see if we can get any pictures of the windows. It's kind of hard for me to tell what kind of windows those are. It's going to need new windows. Definitely. New bathrooms. All new bathrooms, which means new plumbing, new electrical. Yeah. So I'm thinking already just $25 a square foot for rehab on this. 20. Great neighborhood. Can't tell if that's wallpaper or paint. But to get this house nice in this area, and this probably is not going to be a rental property. I don't think anybody's going to buy this to rent it for the cash flow. This is going to be a fix and flip. You got to think about who's your end buyer. Who's going to be buying this house? Probably the retail buyer or an investor who's going to fix it up and sell it to a retail buyer. I don't think anybody's going to wholesale this to a landlord just because, they're asking $260,000. Okay. This is not a good price range for cash flow. If you're going to buy for cash flow in St. Louis, you're going to be spending anywhere from, $100,000 to $150,000. Okay. That's what you're going to be focusing on if you're looking for cash flow. So I'm going to write this down. This is 7419. I'm just writing my notes here. Hazel Avenue, 63143. They're asking $259,900. It's a 4-bedroom, 2-bath, 3,500 square feet. Now, so who's the end buyer on this? I think it's either going to be an investor to fix it up and resell it to fix and flip. It's not going to be a retail buyer that buys this thing, most likely, right? Even in this hot market, very, very few retail buyers are going to want to buy this and fix it up themselves. So some will, but the other person that might buy this, maybe an investor who turns around and sells it as a handyman special to an owner occupant, owner financing buyer. But we'll look at that later. They're saying here that they're saying nearby comps are selling for 525, 501. Always, always, always. Here's the thing. Never listen to what the seller says the house is worth. Never. Completely irrelevant. All right. So one thing that I like about Redfin is, well, first, before we get to the comps on Redfin, let's look at what PropStream has to say. Okay. I'm going to copy this address, plug it into propstreamjoe.com, propstreamjoe.com. Listen, I talk about PropStream all the time because I use it all the time. It's an amazing piece of software. All right, you can see the owner has owned it for 8 years and 6 months. It says owner occupied, which is interesting. So it's not an absentee owner, but it's vacant. So something happened. They moved out. And there is, I think, a mortgage on it. There was a mortgage in 2016, so 4 or 5 years ago. The estimated loan balance is about 77 grand. So there is a mortgage on it that's going to have to be paid off, or you take it over subject to. But I also have a sneaky feeling that whoever is listing this house is maybe a wholesaler themselves. It's probably an investor. And here the source is fisber.com. Sometimes I like to go see, okay, what are the source? Where are these property listings coming from? And fisber.com is a place where you can, it's like a discounted. There's a few things here that these sites do that I like. FSBO.com, for sale by owner.com, Zillow even, fisber.com. You can list your houses for sale by owner, and then also as an upgrade, list it with a flat fee listing broker. And it's a cheap way. It's how I sold my last rental property. I found a discounted broker, a flat fee broker, charged me $750, which is kind of high because I got some extra upgrades with that. I think we did the pictures, but they also helped more with the selling part. But anyway, but the cool thing is, guys, you can, even if you're a wholesaler, you can resell or wholesale your house for sale by owner and put it on the MLS with these flat fee brokers. And this is a for sale by owner website, but I pretty much guarantee how they make their money is by upselling you on, hey, do you want to put it on the MLS? Do you want to get it on sites like realtor.com and and Redfin and Zillow and all that? We'll do that for you. And we can list it to the biggest marketplace of buyers, the MLS. So anyways, just check that out. So this is interesting, isn't it? It's an owner occupant that owns it. It's a lady, Anna Davis. It's not an absentee owner because the mailing address of the property is the same as the property address. All right, so let's look at some estimated values here, okay? PropStream, I'm going to write these down. PropStream says it's worth $373,909. What did Realty Track say it was worth? Now, these are the fixed ups, okay? Realty, and we're going to use these to help us determine the ARV. 314,900. And Redfin is not going to give us well, maybe it will. Sometimes it does give you like an estimated value, but sometimes it doesn't. Well, okay. So here it's giving you a Redfin estimate of 256. Is that the as-is value or the after-repair value? Well, let's just look at some comps here, okay? Let's look at some comps. From PropStream, you can click on comparables right here. And you can do public record, MLS, or both. It kind of depends on your market. Sometimes the MLS is better. Sometimes public record is better. Sometimes they're not the same. They don't work. You just got to play with it. So this is giving us the cool thing about the way PropStream does this. And I know it's kind of small. I can zoom in a little bit, but it looks in the last year within a half-mile radius, within about 15% of the square footage. Okay. So it's about 2,000 square feet to 3,000 square feet in the last year sold. And you can also change property type to be, you want to make sure it's like single family home or whatever it is. So before it included some vacant land, multifamilies. Do you see that? Multifamily. So I want to make sure it's just single family because that's what this is. And there's 7 of them. If you wanted more, you just do like maybe 0.75 miles. Now we have 8. Let's do 1 mile. 1 mile, and we've got 13. Now 1 mile might be a little too much, but I'm looking at the map here, and I can see that, you know what, we're still kind of below the Highway 64, above Highway 44, Interstate 44. So maybe that's still okay. But yeah, let's go back to half-mile radius. The tighter the area, the better, always. Okay, here we go. And then let's sort by amount. And you can see the upper end, 462, 435, 424, 383, 380. Interesting. Now, if you open these, you can see pictures of them. So if I open Cambridge here, it opens a new tab. And you're going to see how sometimes this is a little easier in Redfin because Redfin just gives you better pictures. Oh, this looks like a really similar house, doesn't it? Looks very similar. It's been fixed up. This is a really good comp. Would you say this is a good comp? You can never tell anymore if this is real furniture or fake digitally enhanced furniture. It kind of looks fake, doesn't it? I don't know how realtors are allowed to do that. Oh, maybe it's real. It's so hard to tell. Anyway, this is a nice rehab. Oh, look at the floors. You notice the floors are brand new. Windows are brand new. Let's look at the kitchen again. Ooh, look at that. Beautiful kitchen. This house sold for, let me close this tab. That house sold for $383. That's a really good comp, isn't it? I'm writing this down on my paper. 383. Let's look at this one for 380. Kind of similar. Really nice inside. Look, notice the new floors, new windows. Beautiful. This wasn't a recent rehab. I mean, like it wasn't bought by an investor to fix and flip. So somebody's actually living in this. This is really going to just give you a good idea of kind of what's going on in the neighborhood. Okay. All right. So, I'm almost thinking it's tempting to want to look at the guy, remember the owner of this house said it's, these comps, this house sold for 525. This one sold for 505. It's easy and tempting to look at that. But man, that 383, that house looks exactly the same. And it was on the market for 43 days. You can go look at these other ones up here, but 462. Let's look at this one here. No interior photos. This one has some photos. All right, we'll look at Redfin here, and you'll see kind of why I like it. So this is a property here on Redfin. Let's click on the map. And let's click on right here, map nearby homes for sale. One of the things that you always have to look at is the active listings. And we'll look at that after the sold comps. But that house that we were looking at is right here in the center of this map. It's right here in the center. And if there's 5 homes for sale active right now, we need to zoom out. Now we're going to get 6 homes that are actively listed for sale. Zoom out again. We have 16 homes. So this is going to tell us what our current competition is. All right, but let me zoom in again. Back in, that house is still in the center. Let's go to more filters and let's do some simple filters here. Ours was a 4-bedroom, so I want to make sure that we're looking at 3 to 4 bedrooms. All right. And let's look at square feet. Our house was 3,500 square feet, right? So I don't know. Let's search for 2,750 to 4,000. I could do 3,000, but there's going to be some nice homes that are good comps that are going to be right about there. All right. Now let's turn for sale off, sold on, and let's look in the last year. Now, it means a crazy market. You could do the last 6 months, but the problem is there hasn't been that many comps. There hasn't been that many sales because there's so little inventory. If I click apply filters, there's only one home. Now you see more on here, but those are nearby. Let me zoom out. All right. Now we have 2. Let me zoom out again. Now we got 4, which is interesting because PropStream gave us 7 within a half-mile radius. Oh, wait a minute. Look at this. PropStream says this property is 2,500 square feet. Did I write that down wrong? Let's look this up on Zillow. What does Zillow say the square footage is? 3,500 did sound like a lot. And one of the crazy things too is I'm doing this live. You guys are all probably seeing my mistakes and errors and things that I'm overlooking. All right, so Zillow says 3,500. I don't know. Just looking at this house, that does not look like a 3,500 square foot house. County records, I could go. I'm not going to do that now. Oh, by the way, you see they've been cutting their price. And Zillow, this is interesting too. Zillow has it for $249,900. Redfin had it for $259,900. Well, all right. Anyway, and let's see, Zillow. I'm writing down Zillow's estimate for this house is $355,700. You know what? This isn't a 3,500 square foot house. I call BS on that. They might be counting part of the attic. Ah, they are. See here, tax records may not reflect the square footage of the 3rd floor, which is 1,000 square feet of attic space. That's not comparing apples to apples. And very few people will actually live up there in the attic because it's hot and uncomfortable. It's pretty much just going to be a storage, although you could, but yeah, we need to compare apples to apples, right? So let's go back here to Redfin, and I'm going to change my filters, and I'm going to say 2,000 to 3,000 square feet, and I get a lot more comps. Thank you very much. All right, now I got 14 of them. And again, remember, the thing I like about Redfin is I'm at the middle. Oh, but look at this. This guy, this dingaling who lists this house here, look at these comps, he says. This house sold for $525 nearby. This house sold for $501. $525, $501. But look at this. Look at this house that sold for $350. This thing has got a 2-car garage. It's beautiful. And this was a month ago, guys. Look at that beautiful house. It sold for, how much did I say? $350? Come on. All right. So anyway, this explains now why Redfin there's 14 homes here compared to the PropStream that gave me 7 or so. Anyway, if you have too many, then zoom in. Now we have 10. All right. And let's sort by price. I mean, here's a new construction. That's 477, 475, 449 with no picture, 429. Nice inside. I mean, so the thing, if you think you could sell this property for 525, it's ridiculous. This is a really good similar comp, right? We already looked at this before. 385. Look inside. Great. This one, 357. Let's look at this one that sold for 350. It was a 1-bedroom less, but really about the same size. Looks the same. Doesn't have brick. That's another thing I'm looking at, right? It's just vinyl siding. But this one looks really nice. And it's literally across the street. Right there. Okay. 350. This one sold for 315. Now you see when I'm hovering over it, it turns red right there. 315. Let's look at the pictures. Yeah, it's 1-bedroom less, but it's a little bit smaller. Looks really nice. Now we kind of get into the lower end, cheaper properties. Okay. Oh, and look at there. Here are some. Oh, these are properties that are further away. All right. Well, those are sold, right? Let's look at the actives real quick. Turn solds off, for sale on. This is our competition. 285. And sometimes when I'm looking at competition too, I remove the square footage. I just want to see all the properties that are selling. All right. This one is selling right now for 299. It's really small, but it's fixed up nice. This one's selling for 285, about the same size as brick, but it's going to need some work inside. But again, let me ask you something. All right, this is, yeah, all right, well. This is a great looking house. It's a lot smaller, right? But this is, again, your competition. Your buyers are looking at this house and they're looking at your house, even though it's 1,000 square feet smaller. They're like, you know what? This is such a beautiful house. Maybe we don't need 2,500 square feet. Maybe we can be all right with 1,200 square feet. And it has an attic and we can turn that into a bedroom. We can store things in there. This looks like a much bigger house than 1,200 square feet. Anyway, all right. Here we go. 2.4 million, 1.9 million. I'm just leaning towards, I really like that solid comp of 383. If I go change this sold on last six, well, let's do last year. By the way, yeah, I really like this comp right here. 385. It's a great house. All right. Anyway, I'm leaning towards just by looking at sold comps, 385 for my ARV. All right. The other thing I do, and I like to do this here, I'm going to show you how to do this in the software here. And this is where the software helps you analyze a deal so that you can send an offer to the seller. And it gives you the documents to actually send to the seller. But it also helps you come up with a lease option offer and an owner financing offer so you can give the seller some options. Okay. Any questions on, well, I can't ask questions right now. I'm just kind of teaching this stuff, aren't I? So let's make an offer on this property. What this software does is, again, go to partnerwithjoe.net to get this, partnerwithjoe.net. You put your information on here because this is going to go on the cover letter and the letters and stuff that you send to the seller, your business address, your website, and all that stuff, if you got it. Property information, the seller's name. In this one, I don't remember. We'll just put a fake name here. Susie, the seller. Susie Seller. The property address was 7419 Hazel Avenue, Maplewood, Missouri. Zip was 63142. And the seller's mailing address is the same. Missouri. By the way, you can tell you're from Missouri when you say Missouri. You don't say Missouri. And then people are going to know, oh, you're from Missouri. I'm just kidding. I'm not from Missouri, but I say it anyway just to give people a little trip. I'm from San Diego. All right, here's where we determine the ARV, the quote unquote ARV. And there's a couple different ways you can do it. What I like to do is I like to put in values of ARV from different websites. So Zillow said it was worth about 355, 700. PropStream said it was worth about what was it? 373, 909. All right. Realty Track, I can write that in. I can't spell. Realty Track says it's worth about 314, 900. And what this is doing is just giving me the averages of all these. Okay. I also like to go to realtor.com, and I'll show you why here. I'm going to put the address in here. I'm going to need to go to my clipboard. All right. Sometimes they give you an estimated value. Sometimes they don't. They're saying 410, 500. All right, let's just put it in here and see what happens. Realtor.com, 410, 500. That bumps up the average a little bit, doesn't it? But then one of the other things I like about this is if you scroll down, see more valuations right here. All right, click that. It's going to ask you, do you own this home? You got to pretend you do. Click yes, claim your home. All right, now you're going to see here, I like to go right here. And if I move my thing, there you go. You can see I've got 3 other values. Can you see that up there? Collateral analytics, 427. Core logic, 396, 700. And Quantarium, whatever that is, 332,056. Now, this is normal to be kind of all over the board in a kind of another area, right? So one of them was 427. Another one was 396, 700. And another one was 332,056. All right. So that's enough of them, right? We can see the average of all of them is about 372. And I looked at that one sold comp, and I like that sold comp of 383. So now you can just enter in here the ARV you want to use. Let's do 380. I feel good if I fix this thing up and sell it, I'm going to sell it pretty easily for 380. Now that's a lot less than what the owner says it's worth, but I don't care what the owner thinks it's worth, do I? No, I don't. All right, now this is where we can determine the cash offer. And now there's different ways to do this. There's 2 different methods for doing cash offers. Well, there's more than 2, but the 2 that I like to use is the typical standard Mayo formula. The ARV times 70% minus repairs minus your fee. 70%, that gives you 30% equity. What does that cover? Well, it covers your financing costs, your carrying costs, and your profit. You want to make at least 15% in the deal, and you got to figure in your financing costs, your closing costs, holding costs, your utilities while you're rehabbing it, the realtor commissions. There's a bunch of that. And so 30% generally is a really good number. Okay. In a hot market like California, maybe you do 20%. I think that's kind of cutting it short, but yeah, in the hot market like San Diego, maybe 80%. I know wholesalers that are doing 85%, and maybe that's fine. In the Midwest, you're going to be more at 70, 75%. Okay. You're getting into dangerous ground if you're doing 80% in the Midwest. So, usually it's 70%. Let's do 75%. That's the discount of ARV, right? And we're going to put the square footage in here. I'm going to do 2,500 square foot because that's what the county records say. And that's 2,529. And that's also not including the attic. You don't want to include the attic in there. Repairs. We looked at the pictures. What I like to do for repairs is typically $1 per square foot. Now, there's a way if we had time, and we don't, but you could do some repairs in estimate repairs in FreedomSoft that do a pretty good job. But, generally speaking, if I'm talking on the phone, the seller says it doesn't need any repairs, they just fixed it up, I'm going to do $5 a square foot. If it's cosmetic, like light paint, a little bit of flooring, $10. More cosmetic, $15 a square foot. Mid-level rehab, $25 a square foot. Full gut rehab, 30 to 35. So this property, if you did $25 a square foot, that's about 63 grand in repairs on that house. And just kind of knowing my little rough estimate of repairs on a house that size in that neighborhood, 60 grand is a very good number. Okay. I did 40 grand in rehab on a newer house that was built in 2001. So this house wasn't even 20 years old. Maybe it was a little older than that. It was like 20, 25 years old, and I put 40 grand into it. And there's, rehab, maybe 63. That's a good number. Let's just go with it. Let's stick with it. $25 a square foot. Here's the thing. It doesn't matter what we think the property needs and repairs, what we think the house is worth. What matters is what our end buyers. So when you start marketing this property, your end buyers are going to tell you, yeah, you know what? This isn't going to work for me. Well, why not? You're not putting enough money for repairs in there. There's not enough room for me to make a profit. So you've offered too much. Your ARV was off. Your repairs were off. That's fine. You go back to the seller and renegotiate a lower price. On this house, when you're wholesaling a deal, you always want to shoot for 10 grand. You always want to shoot for 10 grand. So here's my method 1 cash offer, 211. Now, method 2, this is a quick and dirty that works actually really, really well. You take the average of the lowest solds times a certain percentage, and I usually do 80%. So, if we look at Redfin here, we look at our solds. I'm going to sort this table by price. Now, let's go back to filters. Let's do some square footage. Let's do 2,000 to 3,000 square feet. Apply filters. There's only 10 comps here. I want a little bit more. I'm going to zoom out a little bit. Now I have 14. If I sort this by price from low to high, I'm going to do the average of the lowest. Okay. So I have 200. I'm writing this down. 220, 260, 310, 315. Okay. You can also go here to prop stream, and from your comps, you can sort it the other way around. 305, 310, 380, 383. If you needed more, let's do 0.75. I'm trying to get as many comps, good comps as I can, right? Sort it by, you got 266, 305, 310, 330. All right. So then you put them in here. You can put in the address if you want. You can just put in the price. Let's do 220, 260, 310, and 315. By the way, sometimes I have my virtual assistants do this. And so when my VAs are doing it, they will type in the addresses in here. Okay. So now I've got an average of the lowest solds of 276. And normally when I'm doing this method, I like to do 80% of the discount. Look at this. So now I have 2 different cash offers, 211, 221. Now, what is the seller asking for on this house? They're asking, what did we say here? They're asking 249. Interesting. So you got to think about this. If I offer 211, I'm going to try to sell it for 221. Okay. If I'm going to advertise it for 221, do you think I might get any interest? Yeah, I think I will, right? Because I'm going to be 28, 29 grand less than what they're currently asking for. I don't know. Let's just go with that. Let's go with 210. I'm going to offer 210. That's going to give a rehabber enough money. You could also look at this and say, yeah, you know what? Let's do $30 a square foot. That makes your cash offer number 1, 200, 199, 221. Maybe we should offer 200. Let's just do it. Earnest money deposit. Yeah. $1,000. Give them a deadline of Thursday for my offer. Cool. That's the date that's just going to go into the contract. Let's go to next. Now let's just do a real quick lease option offer. Would I do a lease option on this? Maybe. I typically don't like doing lease options on properties that need a lot of work. But let's just see here. Now, what I like to do is this gives me the ARV and the repairs, and it gives me an as-is value. When I make an offer to sandwich lease option, I usually want to be at about 15% equity of the as-is value. So I'm going to give the option price to the seller of $258. What's the market rent on this property? Zillow, sometimes you get that good number here in Zillow market rent, because this is going to help me determine how much monthly payment to pay to the seller. A monthly rent, $26.93. Yeah. $26.93. I don't know. It sounds a little high. Let me go look at PropStream. What does PropStream give an estimated rent? $23.42. Just real quick, if I'm looking at this house here, if I X out, that house is in the middle. Oh, shoot. Zillow is not working on Google Chrome for some reason. I need to do it on Safari. But what I was going to say is just, I'm going to look, you could look at what are some similar rental comps in around that neighborhood for similar homes. But I would need to open up Safari because it's not working very well on Chrome for whatever reason. But, we've got two different rental estimates there. And you could also, by the way, go to Rent-O-Meter. Already, I'm spending way too much time analyzing this deal. Okay, but I'm doing it. I'm going through my time and I'm explaining things to you. Okay, but yeah, normally it's not this long of a process. Let's just say it's 2,300. Let's say it's a 4-bedroom, 1.5 more. Analyze. All right, so this is going to tell me on average the rents in this area are 2,800. Okay. And it gives you some rental comps. I'm going to go with $24.95. If I'm going to advertise this, I'm going to do $24.95. It's kind of right in the middle there. And I want cash flow on this deal, or I'm not going to do it, right? So, usually 20 to 25%. If I set the market cash flow at 20% of that, that means I'm going to get $500 a month in cash flow. So I'm going to pay the seller $19.96 a month in rent. I'm going to usually do 1 month's rent option deposit to the seller, and I'm going to try to get 5 years. Okay. The second lease option offer you can give to the seller is the as-is value. So they're advertising this property right now. Well, where were we back here? They're advertising the property for $249,900. The as-is value 304. I'm looking at this thinking, again, they're asking $249, right? So I'm going to give them a little bit more than that if they do a lease option. I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that. And I'll show you why later. The as-is value, I'm going to give them 305. Now that's a lot less. I mean, that's a lot more than what they're currently asking for, but this is for a lease option. They're going to have to wait for it. And 20, whatever the market rent is, and I'll do $100 option deposit, and we'll do 3 years. Now I cover this a lot in the course in my webinar on how to structure a lease option offer. Well, let's just stay with this for now. Now I'm going to go to next, and this is our owner financing offer. So the price the seller wants, the as-is value of this property is 304. Let's do that. I'm going to offer 0 down, and I'm going to give them principal only payments of $1,247. So I'm actually going to give them more than they're asking if they're willing to owner finance it for 20 years, principal only payments of $1,247.50. Now, if they want a down payment or if they want interest, I might offer 5% down but I'm also going to want a 5% discount. And I'll do interest only of 4% with a balloon, let's just say in 10 years. These are just like the initial numbers that we're going to give to the seller. Okay. So with the principal only payments, I'll offer them 304. Interest only payments, I'll offer them 288 with 5% down. Okay. Let's click submit. Now, the cool thing here is this is going to give you now 3 or 5 or 6 different letters, things that you can give to the sellers. I'm going to walk through them right now with you guys. So I'm going to download these and then open them up in Word. So this is the 3-option letter of intent. 1, number 2, number 3, cash offer only, a 1-page, the 1-page seller report, and a blind owner financing offer. All right, I'm going to do a new share. I'm just going to share my entire desktop here. And I'm going to start opening up these documents. Downloads. All right, so this first one here is a letter of intent. This will open in a second. Word always opens, Microsoft products always open a little slower on Apple computers. It's a cover letter. This is all in Word, so you can adjust it and change it. Hey, it was nice talking to you about your house. And here's giving them some options. I'll give you an all cash of $200, a lease purchase, a sandwich lease option, $258, an owner financing, principal only payments of $304. Price kind of goes up. This explains what a lease option is. And hold on one second. My assistant is calling me. Okay, this is what a lease option is, a summary of the benefits. And then there's 3 pages of frequently asked questions. This page here, this next document, is a 3-option letter of intent with all cash, sandwich lease option, or wholesaling lease option offer. Cash 200, sandwich lease option 258, wholesaling lease option 305. This offer here is going to be all cash and owner financing. All cash of 200, seller financing with interest and down payment of 288, and even a higher price with principal only payments and no down of 304. Okay. And the next page explains what owner financing is, a summary of benefits of owner financing, and it includes a 1-page report that I borrowed from Richard Group with permission on that you can include with selling a house. Super cool. Okay. Then here's a cash offer only route. So if you want to just send a cash offer, this is something I borrowed with permission from Chris Chico from flipanywhere.com. Okay. Shoot. There we go. And this is a cover letter. Hey, Susie seller, I want to buy your house. I'll pay you $200,000 for it. Here's all my information. Here's a 1-page contract. So one of the best contracts in the world. Here's a summary of the benefits that you'll get when you sell your property to us. There's 2 ways to sell your properties. Do all of this work or sell your house to us and get a check at closing. Super cool report that you can just attach and email to the seller through FreedomSoft and put it in the mail. And then here is the 3 different options on one piece of paper: cash, lease option, seller financing. Usually what I do when I'm sending this is it's just to I send this to cold dead leads just to kind of get the conversation going. Here's the 1-page seller report, by the way, that you can send with any of your offers to the sellers. And here is a blind owner financing offer, which I like to send to older listings that are free and clear from the MLS. And I just send this directly to the owners. Okay. It just says, hey, I'd like to buy your house and make you a full price offer. This may seem a little bit out of the blue. That's okay. This is a letter of intent for you to review. And it's just a 1-page contract letter of intent offering them full as is value for the property with 0 down, principal only payments of $127 until paid. And yeah. All right. So I am at the top of the hour and I need to get going. I appreciate all of you guys. I know a lot of you have been putting in A lot of questions here into the chat. A lot of you watching on Facebook and YouTube have putting comments in, so I appreciate all of that. Listen, if you want that software I just showed you, you can get the light version of it with just the cash offers for at partnerwithjoe.net. Partnerwithjoe.net. If you want the full version, it's just $7 to sign up for the Partner with Joe program. There's some things that we'll be offering to you afterwards that you can get. So anyway, looking forward to working with you guys. If you're watching this on YouTube, please subscribe to the channel, get notifications whenever I come do a new video like this. I do one of these every week. Also, if you're with Partner with Joe, you get to participate in these calls in live and Zoom as I'm doing them. And if you're listening on the podcast, hey, what's going on, guys? Appreciate all of you very much. And I got to go. All right. See you guys. Take care. Go to partnerwithjoe.net. All right. Bye, everybody.